Welcome everyone back to the Great Ace Eternity Chronicles. Last time we were doing some investigations. Well, you have to watch the episode to see what happened. I ain't going to throw some spoilers on you. Now's the time to go back while you still have the chance. We didn't manage to investigate it all, and I imagine that we won't be able to do for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. He's clearly glaring at us. Let's just say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where'd he go? Oh yes! He's completely disappeared. Why did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. That's true. Herlock Shrooms definitely knows how to make an entrance. Alright, I guess we examine a little more. I really wish he had a chance to look around this Palavan cabin. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. What? Why do you look at me like that? You want something? Huh? Maybe. You want me to throw you out again, huh? Oh, no. Definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out. Show me where the lobsters spend winter. Understand? Understand. Alright, I'm not getting game over screen. Oh yeah, good point. I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruto-san. Oh yeah, good point. Look at the door. That door leads to the second class area. It's locked. I can't open it. No, well, that stands for a reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape. Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. Alright, I am the prime suspect. That book on the top of the table really is huge. It's a pen with it too. Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log. The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage is meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect that rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. I think he heard us. Anyway, look here. Last night logs is most blank. Yep, there's nothing to report. Nothing here, nothing there. I guess there might be news here. First class cabin number 1. Yes, that's our cabin. Not our cabin. It's Kazuma's cabin. Well, it was his cabin. You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? Small as a wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga managed to uncover any new clues. Alright, we should probably fight him. Our little waiter friend. Show me something interesting. Where is Hasanaga? It looks like they're still investigating in here. Yes, on that subject. I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga is unscathed. What do you mean, unscathed? You surely haven't forgotten, have you, Naruto-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you to go out of his cabin and investigate? He was going to talk about the captain to it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you. Oh yeah. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. He might have some new information for us. You never know. Okay, Hasanaga is there, in fact. And a little bruised. Ah, you're back. Inspector! What happened to you? Your face is... Please, don't worry about it. Ah, you didn't... There's no blood wipe there. They're just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe. When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist and then toss me overboard. What? But pummeling was over in a flash, and he may have decided against throwing me overboard. So with nothing, really. It looks like he wasn't joking when he said he'd lay his life on the line if he had to. Well, thanks for your efforts. We all know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. I bumped into a man claiming to be the great detective in a while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholmes. I don't think he was a German, though. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. What? Nicola Palavona? She's in the cabin next door. Oh, you do know who she is? Please, what's up for something ballet fan wouldn't know about the graceful angel? Oops, I think he upset him earlier. Yep, there's the blood. It tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to this case at least. Oh, how? Because the angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Inspector, has your investigation in here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there is very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed. Raid and hand over Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here. Try not to take my eyes off the job. Oh, I see. Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what? Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please. What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. SBR medical officer has finished its examination of the body. I meant to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report? Kazuma-sama. So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae was written on report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. All the body's nerves run through the spine and brain. Strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It's a possibility, and an obvious wound could be left. Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, if it's fine. I trust you. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Isn't that a little lucky? Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes. He seemed to be enjoying himself a little bit too much as he crept on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have been on board. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes. One thing, but he practically shouted it. He's show polish! Is what he said. What do you meant? It was when he was over there. The piece of broken glass. Do you see? It's shoe polish! Ah, perhaps he was talking about that. You think? Yes. That must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know about it with shoe polish? That leaves me to cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is it, Mr. Sasasa-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Darker tan? A sort of dark brownish red then? Ah, then he used shoe polish to color his shoes. Oh, does this mean that the mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoe while they scuffed on the floor? Just hope it's not a red herring. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewman's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you. I'm glad he was here. Poor Inspector. You look exhausted. Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asogi-san. It was my responsibility. Yeah, that is true. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You are his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing, too. I did notice one thing, though. In the other room, it did seem... in her cabin, it actually shows here. The books were also moved around, just like in Kasuma. Interesting. Perhaps it was a rough wave by chance? Let's see if we see anything new here. That's the same. Let's check the vent again. Yep, now we have a slightly new dialogue. A speckled band. Yeah, Miss Palavoni did say a little bit of suspicious words there. Yeah. It's possible she is a killer then. I'm not sure. It's possible that the pet actually is a killer. Although that'd be a little bit surprising. So it's clear that these letters were written with the ink that was somehow spilled on the floor. Well, it was also wardrobe. It does seem to be unusually points to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there. To be truly ambiguous, it should have just spelled my name, don't you think? Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kasuma-san would really have written his last words or word in Russian, which begs the question of who did write it. Which also points the finger at our 15-year-old lady for some reason. Is she actually the killer? It really is such a beautiful color, this glass. It looks like whatever it has broken clean too. Well, the only half is nowhere to be seen. And where's a brick-colored mark? Which probably means it broke and something happened to it somewhere. It's going to be completely terrible if someone just tampered with the crime scene and he died on accident. Because right now, all I can think is that, the killer is clearly one of the Russians, but, otherwise it would have been written in Japanese instead of Russian. His dying words. Yep, we have all these books here. I have to look after the ship's property. Truly, unruly behaviors. Yep. I think it may have been a shipwreck or something. Or maybe a turnaround? I don't know what. Some damage to a boat. I guess it might be rather frivolous, just reading the evidence we already have. But if it helps us progress in the game, I'm so in for it. Although I have a feeling this is not the case. Yep. It's probably a cat, but we don't know. Although it could be a hamster, a cat, it could be anything. They've already rolled out dog, rabbit, chicken, so it's probably a cat. We'll see. You! Where did you go? Oh, sorry. I just went to the next door cabin to investigate. Why? Why you gave me permission for this? Well, Seaman Hosonaga did. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I'll roll him into a ball and throw him into a cold room. Whew, he's gone back to guarding the door. Hope Inspector Hasanagi doesn't find himself in too much trouble after our account. He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? when we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for our steak at La Carnival. Hopefully no one dies there. Again. Yeah, you could roll him into a ball right now if you could. But yet again, this game, I ain't gonna allow that. Alright, music changed. Ah! Look, Mr. Naruto-san. See, my strong arm is gone. Strong enough? That barely rough soldier. That bully Russian sailor who is always crossing his arms and glaring at us. Ugh, all these Russian names are impossible to remember. Tra-la-la. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. I did it the greatest detective way. That's caroling. I know that lark-like voice. Well, mind that now. There's a golden opportunity for us. Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's go inside Miss Pavlova Canada's and investigate. Definitely, before that string knot crewman comes back. It's strong knot, not stringy knot. We're gonna die, aren't we? Just a little curiosity for my... Airlock! Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look. Wow, never know when he's going to turn up next, do you? He seems to be stealing a look at something as he thinks him to himself. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. I did the great detective way. He's singing. Do you think he hasn't noticed us? Or he's simply extremely high spirits? Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky Herlock was about. Excuse me. I solved it all, and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! What is it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, just about when I reach the climactic finish! Sorry, but I thought you were never going to stop. Thought I figured it was good time as anyhow. I nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away? The Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you. Ah yes, that. I was immersed in a study of the ship's log, and penned by its stuckily billed crewman on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank, which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened. So, you truly are a student from land of rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever you do mean, Mr. Sholmes. Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem that the same crewman has sustained century of first-class passageway, and it's been almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes down every 30 minutes? Nothing to report. Precisely. To put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there's just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. It didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. These are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental life. Maybe Strong Novel know that. Ah, you're staring to understand what my way is, you see. What makes Sholmes. Brilliance. Ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry about yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing him to himself. I can hear it as he wanders down the passage. Something wrong, Sutatsu? You seem lost. It's just... well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? Yep, I think the ship did take a rigid move. Case is opened. Miss Palavona isn't back yet. Satata-san. Oh, where is she gone? I guess she took her friend then. Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. No, wait, no, understand. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right. For Kazuma's sake. Not just for Kazuma-sama. What do you mean? It can't be long now until we arrive at port, in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there. Really? We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san. By ourselves we have to. Yes, we will. Alright, then we better be quick on it. Dresser first up. Naruto-san, are you there? Sorry, I'm right here. Yes. Why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside once. It's not beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all like strange costumes. I was rather hoping we might find Miss Palavona's friend hiding in there, but no such luck. Alright, that's all blood. I investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. There's one of these next to Ben Kazuma's cabin, too. It's possible that they could have used it as a rope. She barely hesitated there, and she gave it a good tug, too. No, I didn't actually expect anyone to come. We don't want them to. We're trying to investigate in secret. I hope nobody comes. It's that letter connects to Kazuma's cabin next door. Yes, although we would have full shipment. Yeah, I'd owned in another room. Maybe. It's so that there's a gas leak next door. Yeah. Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night, Kazuma wrote that he saw the speckled band coming out of this ventilator. All the books have toppled over together. Look, every single one. Do you think that's a good odd to see, perhaps? He's toppled, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door, in Kazuma's cabin. Perhaps Miss Palavona practicing a different ballet pose and fell against a bookcase. Oh no. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company? Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked him over in a fit of rage? Not everything is bad that happens on the ship because of me, you know. Yeah, I think Kazuma had the same scenario. Could also be possible that a statue is a blunt object? Ah yes, they're displayed at this cabin too. The rules of the passage. Possible someone just killed Kazuma because he had a sword with him. In fact, that would actually be a good motive. No, it's probably in the ballerina's arms. Oh, right. Guess that's a good point. Let's look at the plate now that she ain't here to stop us. What are this little saucers doing on the floor? Yes, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there for deliberately. Ah, do you think there could be a leak in the roof just like here? What? A leak? Is the ship quite safe? I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship's going to sink. No, you're right. Of course you're right. She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Ah, good point. I didn't think about that. I guess we don't have to check the door, even though that probably won't be necessary. This cabin door has the same simple sort of bolted latch that their cabin door has. The bolt drawn across, there's no way anybody could enter the cabin from outside. Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it wouldn't slide across its own accord, would it? Yeah. And it seals perfectly, too. To stop any seawater from coming in. Yeah, no chance of death either. Well, not true, but everything has a chance of death, but much safer compared to the rest. I think we all can agree on that. Oh my, but Pablo's case is open! Completely empty inside. But according to the great detectives, great deduction. Yep, she was. A friend that she had to keep secret. Because you're not allowed to bring any animals aboard the bureau. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. But the point, where is it now? Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-ling. Ah! What is that? Where? Shut down engines immediately. Vessel sighted 4-mile force. Full stop, hard to starboard. Nail prints, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Sadata-san, hold on to me. Ah! Sadata-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm not fine. Thank you, Naruhodo-san. It looks that we avoided a collision. I think. Yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness! What about you, Naruhodo-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hasanaga. Is that you in there, Naruhodo-san? Unbolt the door, quickly. What? The bolt? Look at that! The door is bolted. Oh my god. I don't believe it. Oh my god. Oh my... I completely did put that out of the question. This actually might prove her innocent. Our secondary suspect. The princess, or the ballerina. And we're already at the to be continued. Alright, that was fast. January, SS Bura, Miss Palavona's cabin. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up and bolted after made an emergency stop. Sasato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. You! What did you do in Miss Palavona's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Yes, we're fine. Thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we're going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how'd that happen? Oh, the dense fog outside. So it's extremely difficult to see. Something must have thought we saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crews are running everywhere. The first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the very moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm. Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black! You are the devil! Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first. You opened my traveling case! How could you? Oh, so your pet is not with you. That's right, Miss Paladona. I was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector. Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. He's a criminal. Is that not enough he killed a man? Duh! And he stole away his, the victim promises not to steal chicken. Do you believe? Take him away. He's trespasser as well as everything else. Stowing away. Trespassing. Killing. She's right. You are devil. Doesn't look good, does it? They are still below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock into Hong Kong. Then we give you the straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hasanaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. This is terrible. It's a real crisis. We've got to find a solution. Immediately. You need to get calm and focus on the task at hand, which is investigating. Dude, touch my things! You want me to show you crawfish operates? Hiya! Why'd you high on me? Mr. Naruhodo, what do you think you're doing? Wow, everyone's attacking me. And I was just staring at and think she was my friend. Is there anyone who can help me out of this mess? Maybe Mr. Sholmes can. What the? What are you doing up there? Mr. Sholmes? Naturally, I was analyzing what way of 20,000 rubles would feel like on one's head. I would not told you that the detective. It's my business to know what other people do not. This is a mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh no. Well, why are you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of my 20,000 rubles, naturally. I was determined to bend that conceit of the wall just to brag and bounce. Never knew whether to take this man seriously or not. You again, the great detective. Inspector, I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report to you, most urgently. Well, you might have tried looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time? What is to report? Speak! An urgent report from a great detective means one thing. Yes. The case of the curious murder that took place last night on this vessel, the steamship Roya, has been solved by me, naturally. What? Really? Yes, I've eliminated all other possibilities. No explanation exists. So, allow me to eliminate all your minds. For I'm about to reveal my great detective's great deduction to the case. Ha! You have solved it? Even a hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing student boy this morning, when we found criminal in wardrobe. It was this stowaway. I need handcuffs to prove it. I didn't do it. The trouble is, there didn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because, as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. That means culprit must be someone who was inside the cabin. It was what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Locked room! That's his point. The room was locked? Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from the outside of the cabin. You're all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there was another entrance. An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gaps the open mouths even when you speak. The ventilator, man! The ventilator? Gah! Ha 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 ha. You think this is funny? Even I can't put arm through that hole. That's because your arms are as thick as the tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? That's not possible! Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder passing in through the ventilator. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are referring to the words Kazuma-san wrote in his diary? 1:23 AM, I can hear a faint whistling sound. Why, it looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What is the speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in the very cabin. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I'm about to expose for you all to see will shock you in your cores. Behold! Yeah! Ah! What the? Oh my god. It's a snake? Her pet was a snake? The speckled band? A snake? Oh my god, it's a snake and a weapon. Why did she bring a snake onto the ship? Let's look at Stuck Knob's face. He's like, this is fine, Mr. Sholmes, just one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake, isn't that really speckled, is it? Looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? She brought a frickin' snake onto the ship! The striped band, wouldn't you? Oh boy. You both see and observe, with distinction. However, do you not think it's precisely the trap which the culprit wishes you to fall? My goodness, really? It is a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it's time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Palavona? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me! There are two conclusions that I've drawn from the facts. Number one, last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. And number two, the same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit a nail on the head. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? It's like he can't speak with that. It's like all around his... What I advise a little movement if possible. Say, man, you wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So everyone, let's begin. And look, Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Intruder's identity. Miss Palavona, moments ago you claimed that the following. His death had nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it was that very pain that evidences your inexplicable link with the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this cause that intruded the victim the head the night? Why, naturally, it was the friend which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, I suspected. Another telltale glance. Without a doubt, your friend is a wriggling serpent which sees before us. Wait, the snake is not the pet? Maybe it is a cat then. And yet, the fact leaves us in the quandary. The victim's writhing expression in question tells a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably, the specimen's marking does not fit the description in any way. What explanation can we give then? Pray, what was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me! This has nothing to do with any of this! Oh, but it does. You have the answer right in this even now. Even behind your back. Yes, that is what you're trying to, but failing to conceal, can only be the slave skin. I think that might be a cat's tail, actually. Shed its original skin. No? I don't know what you are talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, you said your speckled friend slithered next door. The spell card on the other side of the bridge, the serpent silently descended to the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared to a young gentleman who was about to lose his life, as a speckled band. Summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime. It's a rare breed of snake, which marking change each time it slows its skin. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine it would be found in the deepest depths of India. How Mr. Asogi died. Moving on, we can come to the heart of which matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to the data of which I have been apprised, it appeared that there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained through by a terrible woman. Now, we take that as fact. We can reasonably imagine that there were remains of evidence to affirm the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the death conclusively. It almost, but not quite, impressively punctures wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense! There is no point of feigning ignorance, Miss Palavona. At the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays your hiding place that you choose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you and the victim's death in a traveling case. Yes, it can go attention. Same for me. That was a sharp in the eye. Your serpent assassin was rusted inside, no doubt. You don't. This is telling that the victim made a note of his low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend. To train? Indeed, you put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After a period, you summoned it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for signs of life next door. If the victim appeared to have not been dispatched, you'd release your snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true! Having slithered through the ventilator and down the bowel cord, the creature needed only to sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's vein, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the young man's life. There can be no doubt. The monster is infallible. No, that's wrong. This concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Miss Palavona has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. They're all... Yeah, saucer of milk. Preserve the saucer of milk, the promise of food, and keys to training any creature. Incredible! You solved the mystery! Amazing! Your great deduction really lives up to its name. I see now that why Sherlock Holmes becomes a household name. My dear man, there's nothing remarkable. As Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? Of course. What's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I will question my method, answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible for a trained snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Palavona used some other treat to encourage her pet to do so quitting. Milk was merely an example. Logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah. Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. But madam, what's the chance of Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps it's performance to play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? The creatures are so inept as to be practically useless! Don't take it to, snakes, Mr. Sholmes. Is there no one... There's one other thing. You have more? Snakes are used to skulls on their bellies to prop themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like no one in the ones in the cabins. And then should try harder! Please don't be in anger with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even the snake had gone through a ventilator next to her cabin. It couldn't have come back without help. I'm trying to say... Is that there a number of reasons why it's difficult to manage a snake could have had part in this? I think. We need to step and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean. Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Me too! Just what I was waiting for. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, right. So, cast your eyes down on your wrists again. What? Where'd they go? Fear not. I shall see they're restored after our work is done. I wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let's begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Miss Palavona, months ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. The whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She does have pain expression on her face. Yes, is that true? She looks as though Kasuma-san's death was weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read it quite correctly, is that right? Could there be another way to interpret her expression then? Let's take a look at it a moment. Oh, claw scratch! That also backs me up. Look, That looks like a very painful wound. It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too. I was right, well, I first thought it was a poodle. But my second guess was a cat.
Yes!
Yes, when you recall those horrid events, the claw scratch marks with pain. Indeed, a simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Palvona, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? Ah! When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. When I'm sad, the pain from this wound is worse. And that is very plain. The evidence is indestructible linked to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole your victim's cabin? Why, naturally, it was a friend, which you bore with the vessel. Is it not? Ah, as suspected. Another telltale glance. Without a doubt, your friend is hurling serpent before us. It seems likely that the scratch marks on the back of Palvona's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, but I'm sure everyone watching this channel knows what does have claws. Wouldn't hint Super Mario 3D World? If that snake isn't her pet, what is the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruto-san. Find the answer. Oh, look at that!
Yes!
You are looking over at this framed photograph print, weren't you, Miss Palvona? Let's not be distracted by the print itself. Oh no. It's one frame, your friend, isn't it? Because, yeah, I screwed up. What spectacularly contrived logic led you to this mindless conclusion? Oh, well, it's supposed to be logic and reasoning spectacular, so I thought I'd contribute to the show. This is my show, Mr. Naruhodo. I can't perform you any experiments on your own stage. Sorry. Okay, you can screw up here! We can't reasonably be sure it's Miss Palvona's first if Glenn says... Yeah. We probably had to examine it. We can just screw up before the trial. Yeah, we get a good look at that cat. Must be something possible on Broadway where she went over it. Yep, I was right on. I'm not expecting to be a black cat though. It looks of things, it definitely seems to be it.
Yes!
There we go. Without a doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear. What is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? Ah! We were right! Duraka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Duraka appeared to be a Russian blue. And yet, the fact leaves us in the quandary. The victim's written observations on question tell of a speckled band. Regrets, Ridley. And the specimen's marking do not fit the description of any way. What explanation can we give, pray? What was the sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? No, don't look at me! This has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this question right even now. Hidden beneath your back. Yes, that which you're trying, but failing to conceal, can only be a slate skin. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. If she just left it in her pocket, no one would have ever had known. Oh yes, ploys are like Mr. Shone's specialty. It's ever so close to revealed something. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that's the skin of a snake. In which case, if they just want Parvala's hiding behind her back? Well, it's speckled, and it's banned, but it's a cat toy. Be soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort. What looks to be a handle at the top of one end. I think it might be a cat's toy. Ah, a toy for cats? Yep! That makes perfect sense now. Perfect sense. How cute. Let's present this now, shall we?
Yes!
Yes, the thing you're trying to, but failing to conceal, is, a cat's toy. Precisely, and true nature of the now infamous speckled bang. Ah! As a toy you would dang through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? My dear boy, there's only one answer to that. After our feline friend disappeared through the ventilator to the neighboring cabin, the fellow attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incinerate the creature to return. In summary, the nature of this friend, Miss Palavella's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is the blood of some Russian blue breed of cat. A cat named of Darka. Yeah! A truly troublesome feline young Darka proving to be. She must have been a caged one found. You will forgive us for borrowing a photograph of your pet, Miss Parvella? Alright, here comes some evidence. It was after I gave her the food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand, and then ran up the spell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she's so naughty. Now let's see topic 2. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life? And why? According to Darko, which I've been apprised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by terrible venom. What Mr. Shom said is true. There were no signs of a wound anyone else on Kasuma's son on Mr. Kazuma's body. But Mr. Shom seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's see if the waiter... Mr. Hasanaga might be a little bit useful here.
Yes!
In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the Post-Mortem Report. Yes, I knew it once or another. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of his cerebral vertebrae was fatal. Only the Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Simon Strongman isn't some mortal freak, you know. The jury is out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, we take that as a fact. It can reasonably be imagined there remains evidence to affirm the crime scene. Oh no, could there be? Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause. I don't think the deceased body will prove that. He died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something, or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. And yet, no weapon has been founded though. suppose. Possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It would have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. But yes, a bald fall could explain it. It's rather hard to believe Kasuma-sama though. He's not a clumsy man. Yeah. Think from the scene I can explain what happened? I believe because Perhaps this could be evidence. Yep, I think I got it. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. The particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, that's deposited shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed. Positively identified by a little analysis I've constructed, which I carry out as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. And the color of the polish is a perfect match of the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at the point of the floor and tripped. Please, no. And, by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck by something movable object at the fall of the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae was shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No! I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Palavona? What about the evidence left at the scene of the crime where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts were clear as day to me. You did all that to conceal the incrimination evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays your hiding place you chose. That's right. You had the evidence that links you in the traveling case. I don't think I would believed it. I don't believe it. Kasuma-san merely tripped over and now he's no more? Can't be true. I choose to accept it. That's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest what happened. But now if it's that part of it to show the deduction is right, Miss Palavona is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. And here in this cabin, somewhere in this directional, must cast your eyes. But where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. Quick pace. Yep, let's see if there's something important here. Pablo started occupying this cabin late last night. Assuming there's not much rubbish in there yet. Oh, look at that! The other half of the broken piece of glass, isn't it? That wasn't there before. Let's see, where's Sherlock? In that waste paper basket. That's where you hid the evidence. Ah, no. Wrong answer. Let's press the X button.
Yes!
That's right. You hid the evidence that links you and the victim's death in the waste paper basket. Ah. Here we have a fragment of some specific glass object would seem one familiar air, in fact. Precisely, we found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asogi's cabin. As you can see, two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavona, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the crime victim death? Did we find the waste paper basket in your cabin? Yeah! You're well acquainted with this glass bell, aren't you not? It does make glass bell. I don't know. Is the hushed Russian accent of yours that would save you time, dear girl? Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away. It's Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Little Glass Bell. That would be... It's not relevant to the case, but I can try this out. If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Duraka's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has been caught up with you, Miss Palavona. The young man who lost his life last month did so after a truly inconspicuous fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Duraka. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Death by tripping over a cat. Induction complete. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Palvona? Tell us exactly what happened last night. And don't go hesitating on some kind of crap that we're not buying. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast. She disappeared through the ventilator, and before I could stop her... That is how you acquired the rather nasty wound in your back of your hand, I take it. Yes. And I had to read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed to Darka with me. Yes. Modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. At that point, you thought it would be safe to try to lure the kitten back again? By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and join the cabin? Duck always loved this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. The faint whistling sound Kasuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Palvona, trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the showers when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. Just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... I nearly passed out with the shock. I heard cry out, and then... It was such a dreadful bang. And afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kasuma was. From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Burrow is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kid got under his feet. A combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kid afterwards? I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet darker and nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case, and now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is insufferably relentless as I am. Well, knows something about himself, at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that the young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right! Where is it? A snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlona. Then whose is it, and where'd it come from? What on earth is the danger creature doing on board this ship? Oh, I didn't say? Snake is my friend. His name is Puzoko. Pirozko. What? That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when Mercy found the landed. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did the snake get into the cabin? But animals aren't permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. Going to be so long without close friends? Without someone who understands. Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? Maybe not, actually. I'm a dear fellow. A gargantuan venomous snake. Surely you can't appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Huh? Suzuko does not have venom. He's harmless, very long. And I can't see any fangs. It's venomless? Yeah, he's been defanged. Yes, now he's hungry, so he's in bad mood. Once I feed him, you'll see Big Smile. And you will feed him. What? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say in milk chickens? Ridiculous! Snakes drink milk are only in stupid stories. Suzuko eats mice. Big fat round mouses. Ah, oh, so that's why the mousetrap is there. Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain. Like, looks like their eyes right in the mouth right now. I think mousetraps are usually used to stop mice from scampering around. But what is Sherlock saying? If it refuses to drink milk, can't hear a whistle, and it can't come with bell cord, and it's not even venomous? How to deduce did something so inept lands a starring role? It's not my fault. I did not make stories. My protocol has nothing to do with the incident. Mice trap are usually just used for, keeping them from pesting away the house. Not for food! I think there might be another key we're missing here. I mean, we now know that whenever the ship stopped, there is one piece of evidence that does contradict this case. Everything lines up to a T, except for the books. They were all knocked over. And same with the lock, now that we've seen it fall over. I understand this difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with his lies, then no matter what circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Bigtoba? What lies? Miss Palma just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. I'm not a great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Palmabona's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh! I'm only present here for a specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruto, are simply a distraction. Distraction? I hope you've not been finding yourself shackless. Too uncomfortable. Ah! Not again! Why'd you do that? We keep forgetting about that! I was hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were Mr. Sholmes? Yes. But I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. And some of those street foods on the festival. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Miss Naruto. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is in the discrepancy Miss Pavone's story, I'm sure. If I can chase down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died, and about the scene your cabin really came to be. All right. Let's see what I can do.